Well, it's 6 minutes past 1, and only now I'm pretty much ready to leave the truck stop in Fort Erie, Ontario. I was here about 8 o'clock yesterday, and I was driving and looking at this post-it note, knowing that I gotta do grease on the truck when my odometer hits 170,000 kilometers, and I was past that. And I remember there's a quick lube place here, and they open till like 10. So I called them when I was north of Toronto, and they say, yeah, we take the last truck for a lube at like 9:30 or 9:15 or something like that. They also do, a quick oil change. I might try them next time I'm here. But so I disconnected from the trailer, dropped it, went and did my lube. It was like $24, and now they put me in the system, and they give me a pricing in case I decide to do an oil change. And in other news, I'm glad that the viewership numbers are up for my past videos. Maybe have some inspiration or something. But yeah, I'm selling the trailer because I want to do an upgrade to a lower trailer that can haul heavier and bigger loads. Same Kaufman. Nothing's wrong with the brand, especially since nobody wants to take it as a trade-in. No, like seriously, people don't respect the brand. Oh, you bought the cheapest. I call one guy. He sells one of those fancy, old brand trailers, like that's been around for like 5 centuries. And I talked to him before I bought Kaufman, and he says, so what did you go with? I said, well, I went with this. Oh, Kaufman. He starts laughing. Like, what kind of a salesman laughs at the customer's product? It's like, it's the worst possible salesman. It's like you want to buy, let's say, I don't know, okay, you want to buy a Cadillac, right? So you call this guy, and he's all self-important, yeah, we talked 2 years ago. Okay, so what did you buy? Well, I bought a Mazda. A Mazda. So you chose the cheapest one, right? So would I be able to get some kind of a trade-in for a Cadillac? Are you joking me? I would never take a Mazda as a trade-in for a Cadillac. Well, it was kind of like along those lines, but I felt like killing this guy. So anyway, my next trailer is a Kaufman for sure. I'm not calling anybody else, since basically people are jealous, because I said, how much is your trailer? Just basic 3-axle, 26-foot deck, just basic 55-ton trailer, nothing, because mine has like a $5,000 of options, like $5,000 US. That's what, like it's like 6,500 Canadian. So he says basically he said 80,000 Canadian for his basic trailer. So basically after he had all options, it will be like $100,000. So, which is total BS. Anyway, and I put an ad on Kijiji. Some guy emails me and says, yeah, I saw you selling a trailer. How much if you sell a truck together with the trailer? Well, that's kind of like a interesting question, since I didn't plan to sell the truck. Like, nothing's wrong with the truck. You see, like, the thing is, by the way, why I'm talking about this, because I thought it might be of use to people that are trying to get into this or learn about this, is that you don't make money with the truck. Like, if I change the trailer because I've been losing some loads because they were too heavy for me, or I've been losing loads because, let's say, they're, I don't know, 14.6 tall, right? You cannot be over 14 in some states, or even like Ontario. But anyway, so even 1 inch can mean a load or no load. Like, I'm serious. So if you change your trailer, you can get more loads, so you can make more money. So the trailer is what makes you money. Now this truck, okay, it's probably going uphill. It's slower than a 16-liter, mastodon with, like, I don't know, 3,000 pounds of torque, but it gets the job done, right? So I'm moving the load from point A to point B. So if I change the truck, all that's gonna change is that my payments are gonna get extended for another 2 years, right? I've been paying, what's November 14, November 15, what is it, like, 18 months, right? So now if I get let's say I get some guy gives me money enough to pay it off and buy a new one, so basically I get locked into another 5-year contract. And okay, I'm thinking like next truck, all right, slightly heavier front axle, automatic transmission, bigger bunk, lighter color outside, and last but not least, maybe a bigger engine with 2,000 pounds of torque or 2,200 pounds of torque. But then I don't want to get into those front axle set forward trucks, because I really like how the weight distributes on a set back axle. I mentioned this before, like I really don't see a classic truck in my future. And just out of curiosity, I asked Mac, and he says, well, this Titan, but you know, it's set forward axle. I said, how will the weight distribution work? And the guy says, well, maybe it's, you know, then this truck is not for you. Kind of like weird expressions, you know, that these salespeople use. So what do you mean? Like, who the heck is the Titan, Mac Titan for, if it's not for heavy haul? Oh, you know, bulk fuel, you know, tankers, like, unbelievable. But I do see like Peterbilts and stuff like that, you know, like this, lots of big companies, right? Like specialized heavy haul companies, they do use classic trucks. And I do see a big axle, like big tires on the front, so I don't know how. But then I hear this, that basically with the classic trucks, it's very difficult to transfer the load because the front axle is so far. It gets underloaded all the time. So even if you have a pusher axle, pretty much all the weight goes on your drives and your pusher. And then, you know, especially when you put the pusher down, your steer axle will be like 9,000 pounds, you know, which is dangerous. Like in my truck, I move my fifth wheel, everything is beautiful, right? Like, look, this is it with the 68,000 pounds, right? My pusher is down, 11,980, right? So almost 12,000, so which makes steering, you know, perfect. And then I got my drives and the steer and the pusher, and that's the trailer, perfect. So I don't want to change that. But anyway, I said the guy 200,000. So anybody wants to buy my truck and the trailer, that's 200,000 Canadian, taxes included. That would allow me to pay off the truck, pay off the trailer, order a new trailer, and order a new truck. Even though I'm not sure, like, why do I need a new truck? But why I'm also, another thing, sorry if like I keep going on these long rants, like, you know, I'm a talker. Who knew? Why I'm here? Why I'm still here is because like 9 o'clock I got the permit for Pennsylvania. 10 o'clock I got the permit for New Jersey, and New York permit was issued only at like 12 o'clock. And I start looking, and because I'm so tall, like the instructions here are just like 3 lines of text. But if somebody wants to follow me on Google Maps, but it's very confusing. So we're gonna do, like, today is gonna be a driving video. I don't care how big the file will be, but I'm gonna show you all these little maneuvers. So basically from the border I go to Porter Avenue, then I turn left on 266 North, which becomes 265 North. This is Buffalo. Then I stay right on Amherst Street till I reach Highway 5. I stay on 5 past I-290. Then I go south on 277. Then I go east or left on Genesee Street, which turns into Highway 33. I go east on 33. Then I jump north on 77 towards the lake where I meet 63. I go east or south on 63 till I reach 5 again, and then I take Highway 19B, Fargo Road, south till I reach 63 again, and then I go 246, then east on 20A, then south on 36, and then finally that will take me to I-390. And that's where the freeway part of the trip begins. So I-390 to I-86, which goes into, and then I stay on 86, which becomes 17 East, and then I hit I-81 and I go on I-81 in Binghamton towards the south, towards the border with Pennsylvania. So how you do this, you guys saw before, right? I just use this. That's my magic trick, right? And then I sit down with Google Maps and I create a list. Normally it's like one sheet. In this case, in this crazy detour, I have to write up 2 sheets of papers. Kind of like, but you need to do this, otherwise, you know, I cannot program all these points in my GPS, right? Basically, what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna program Dansville, because I'm pretty sure I'm gonna be passing TA Travel Center in Dansville, New York. So I'm gonna put it in there, put it on silent mode, and I'll be following my instructions. And sooner or later, my GPS will switch me to the, you know, probably when I'm near the freeway. But like the way I do this, you know, I follow the instructions on Google Maps, and then I make these little arrows. Okay, left, straight, right, and then I write the street. See, like left, Niagara Street, 266 north. Straight, 266 turns into 265. Keep right on Amherst. After crossing I-290, right, 277 south. So it's a very laborious task, but basically I got like, I don't know how many turns I have. So there is no GPS that can take so many, you know, middle points on the trip. So we take this, so we put it here, and then I'll be driving and I'm just basically glancing, you know, and that's how we do it. All right, so at least Pennsylvania is much easier, and New Jersey there's like one highway, you know. Basically I think I'm going what 81 to 380 to 80, and then in New Jersey I take a small highway which takes me to I-78 or something. And basically my delivery is right next to Newark, New Jersey airport. It's kind of like funny, right where, if you remember, if you saw my old vids on my trip to Russia, I decided to go on a road trip and I drove, then I had the Dodge Ram 5.7 liter Hemi, and I drove the Dodge Ram all the way to that airport in Newark, and I parked it in the economy lot, and I boarded the plane that took me to Russia. I spent like a weekend there. I flew back and I jumped in my truck and drove back to Canada. So my delivery is like 5 minutes from that spot. So kind of like interesting. The same town, you know. All right, so my headband is ready. All I gotta do now is do my logbook, and then we can rock and roll. Yes, sir. Okay, here we go. 20 minutes to 2. Yeah, Bridge Authority was pretty quick today. I stopped in this usual spot right before the bridge, and when they see you with your light, with your rooftop light on, they usually just come because their office is over there. So I give them a real weight. I show them my permit, New York permit, and they call their boss on the radio. They said, yeah, this guy's 11 feet wide, 115,000 pounds. And the boss said, is that SERGEI heavy haul TV? Oh, he's good to go. Yeah, I wish. I'm not as popular yet as some people might think. I'm at the border, sitting in a lineup. So I hope my paperwork will let me pass quickly. turn number 1 onto Porter Avenue. Basically right after I left the border. 265, 266. Junction, 266. Yeah, that's what I need. Niagara. Perfect. Very careful here. With all these tiny, ridiculous cars. Great. And then this road should turn into, it becomes 265. And then I gotta keep right on Amherst Road to get to New York 5. Junction. No, that's 265 is now running together with 266. And I'm on Amherst Street. I was here before. Buffalo Zoo, because right after that zoo they're gonna be Highway 5. Okay, I think here's there should be the zoo on the right, because I remember seeing this kind of like a mass of green on Google Maps. And I made it to 5, which actually is Main Street. This is still 5. Looks like a university area, very clean, and the church on the left is called University Presbyterian Church, and the street going to my left is called University. So finally I see all these blue signs, so that's the interstate. So I need to go over. And I have a feeling like the further I drive, so the streets become wider. So I'm getting away from tiny streets and, you know, intense traffic. Huh. So this is 277. Well, gonna be interesting. It's kind of like, where did I do the kind of like the same turn where I had to go into this left lane? You see where the white car is, Hyundai Sonata? I had to go all the way there and then signal my right turn because it's too tight, and this car is parked in the middle of that, intersecting 277, which is Union Street. But that's what I gotta do, because knocking down lampposts and signs rarely makes people happy. Boy, I made it, but I left some people like with their mouths open. It's a huge truck. I'm not talking even about my truck, I'm talking about the thing that sits on the top. Turns into 33 East. Oh, 3 lanes now. I'm passing the airport on my left. Now here's an interesting spot. 2 lanes, I'm in the left lane, the right lane ends. Let's see how many crazy people we're gonna get. No, that's it. Oh, it's because there's a truck in the back. And this is Corfu. The sign says Junction 77. And a couple of times actually they made me turn right here or go south. Yeah, this time for some reason they decided to send me north. Towards I-90. Up. This is the Flying J, and there's a TA in here. This is just east of Buffalo. So after all these circles around, yeah, there's a sign on the left that says Flying J, and then further down it's TA. There's Danny's in here. And I-90 access or exit is right to the left at this intersection. This guy is turning left, but he's creeping to the right. This way before. Yeah, by the way, out of curiosity, I called the salesman at the Mac, the guy who sold me this truck, and I said, what do you figure the prices are now? Like, I thought they went up like real bad because the dollar was a much more expensive when I bought this truck, I think. And he said, well, no, it's just like 3% a year is standard. Like Mac Canada, pretty much all truck dealers, truck manufacturers, they increase prices by 3% a year to offset the inflation. And I said, that's it? What are you saying, that my truck is pretty much the same? And he said, well, let me see. He says, I can do the same pretty much quote and just tell you what the prices are. And I said, what's the heaviest front axle you can get now? Because when I was buying this truck, oh, it's not bosom, it's basum. Okay. So my turn must be somewhere here. 63, where is it? So yeah, when I was buying this truck, I went with the heaviest axle available, which is 14,600 pounds. And the salesman says now Mac has the same truck, this truck, Mac CXU 613 Pinnacle. You can get as an option 16,000 pounds, which is actually a big deal, you know. even though you're never gonna use it, but for example in Canada, in Ontario, they can give you up to 16,000 pounds on the front axle, like, which can be handy for you know, like a local move, regional move. And I just like to have a stronger front axle, like, because I'm telling you, this one makes all kinds of sounds when I load it with a heavy load. Okay, here's my turn. And so he said, yeah, so what do you want to, like I said, the chances of me changing the truck now are like pretty much nailed. But I'm just curious how the price has changed in 16 months. So he's making a general, he's preparing like a general quote for the same CXU 613 Pinnacle setback axle, but the front axle 16,000. The transmission is automatic, same engine, because that's the problem with this truck. You cannot put a bigger engine, like the engine compartment is too small. And another thing I asked him to change, I said, put in a sleeper with 2 beds where the lower bunk can turn into a desk. Like, that's my dream, you know, to have a lower, have like work area, office area at the lower level and sleep at the top level. No, this is not a national park. This is Highway 19B, as in boy, also known as Fargo Road. Fargo. Alright, I think that's my turn. So this is 63, so I gotta turn right on 246, or Perry Road. Yeah, where that truck is turning from. Blue truck. Oh yeah, Perry. 10 miles. Okay. Highway 36 south, and the next junction will be I-390, 1 mile to 390, 1.6 kilometers.
Interstate 390 southbound towards Corning.
I cannot believe how long it took me to get here from Buffalo. I left, what, 20 minutes to 2. I did stop for like 15 minutes to, or more, maybe like 20-25 to check my load and get some tea. But now it's 6 o'clock. Zanesville, at the parking lot here, there's so many, little hills. I was catching the ground as I was trying to back. So I want to raise my trailer so that I can get out of the truck stop tomorrow. Everything is good. Well, now I can take a